The number one thing that I've learned is don't give up when you fail.
Yeah.
Just keep going and keep trying and keep trying. And as you said, you know, most people that have done extremely well have failed so many times.
My biggest fear in life is failure, dying, and losing the people that I love.
Yep.
And those things could happen. And I work as hard as I can to try and prove that it's not going to happen, and to keep myself grounded at all time towards my maintain that sort of, I'll say, winning mindset.
Yeah. Okay, if someone wants to start an online business and they want to grow and scale that, this is the formula they need to follow. I then teach that to people that want to start an online business, or people that have an online business and want to scale, and essentially just sharing my entire blueprint.
When it comes to goal setting, for me, I think it's about, you know, taking it day by day and not focusing so much on the end results, and actually focusing on the actions that you take daily.
Yep.
And how's that taking you towards your sort of, is this decision that I'm making today going to further my business, or is it going to further me as an individual?
But then it's also important to set these short, smaller goals, because you want to be achieving goals along the way, because it helps, you know, you feel like you're getting something done and you're moving forward, and it's that satisfaction, it's that good positive feedback loop.
And that allows you to maintain that winning mindset against all adversity that may come up against you, because you got that mindset of, you know, I love what I do. Welcome to the Winning Mindset Podcast. My name is Wale Adesmoye, your host. I'm a 5-time Muscle Model World Champion. I've traveled the world and trained with some of the best athletes on the planet. And I'm here with none other than Josef Rakich.
Yeah, you got
I've been trying to pronounce his name without butchering it, and I've tried my very best. Joseph, introduce yourself to the audience for those that don't know you, and tell them your backstory.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Josef Rakich. Been in the online space a long time, probably close to 15 years now, selling meal plans, selling workout programs, helping people all around the world get in shape. I've been into the gym for a long time also, more than 15 years. It's what I live, it's what I breathe, it's what I get my enjoyment out of, it's my passion, it's my hobby, and it's my career. So over the last 15 or so years, I've had over 180,000 subscription clients through my app. And I also have a software company that helps other online trainers essentially grow and scale their business. We build them a website, we build them an app, and then we help them scale. We've got over 700 trainers on our platform, and 700,000 end users, so clients under the trainers. That's a little bit about me and what I do.
Amazing. That's, guys, if you don't know Joseph, he's very, very humbled in that introduction. You know, you've made over 25 million in the online space in the time that you've been working online. And that introduction of yourself is very humbling and very, I would say, you know, it's very like, oh, I'm not all that, but you are. This guy is absolutely crushing the online space. He's an inspiration to me in all the stuff that he's doing. So I'm gonna lead me to my first question. You know, what's pursued you to kind of pursue your drive for what you do in the fitness space and in the business space as well? What has pursued you to do that?
Yeah, I guess it's just enjoyment for what I do, you know? I love what I do, I enjoy what I do, and I like helping other people, and I like seeing other people achieve results. So gym is my passion. So I am very grateful that I've been able to, you know, base my career around the gym and around fitness. And I've essentially just gone and done exactly what I love doing. And then I've just turned that into a business.
That's amazing. So you've always trained. When did you start training?
I don't know the exact age that I was, or the exact year, but it was when I was, you know, a late teenager. My mum, she won a free gym trial. She didn't want it. She gave it to me. I went along to the gym. I was just skin and bones, 61 or 63 kgs at the time. I can't remember the exact number, but I was nothing. Like the wind could have blown me over. I went to the gym, didn't know what I was doing, didn't really enjoy it. I just was kind of there because, you know, it's a great place to hang out with your friends.
Yeah.
But because I was a complete beginner and a complete newbie to the gym, I started getting some results pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Once I got those results, that's when I kind of thought, oh, I do like this. And you start to understand what the gym's about. And then you understand that, you know, if you put in work, you can get results. If you put in more work, you can get even better results. And that's when I just started taking my diet more seriously and my training more seriously. And then it's just progressed over the years.
And do you feel that some of the skill set that you've learned from training has helped you in business?
100%. Because in the gym, you learn that the harder you train and the more dedicated you are and the more work and the more effort that you put in, and if you trust the journey and you trust the process, you will get results. So the same thing applies for business. The more work you put in, the more effort, the more energy, the better your results are. And then sometimes you just have to trust the journey. A lot of people go to the gym 2 weeks or 2 months and they give up. And that's why they don't get the results, because they don't trust the journey and they don't follow the process. But when you understand that it takes some time, and as long as you're putting in the work, it's going to pay off in the end. And you just apply that to your business as well.
Yeah, that's important. Like, you know, one of the biggest lessons I've learned in life have come from the gym, and I've implemented them into my business and every other aspects of my life, challenges that I face. Because, you know, one of the thing I can say is your body's not Amazon Prime. You don't order it today and it comes up tomorrow.
Exactly.
You know, you've been training for what, 20 odd years now?
Yeah.
You'll say?
At least more than 15 anyway.
Yeah, so I've been training best part of 32 years, you know, and, you know, it's always something that when people look at myself and they want to compare my journey to theirs, you know, I always say, don't compare someone else's chapter 10 to your chapter 1. Exactly. Everyone's got a journey. You know, what are the challenges that you faced along the way in business and in life, and how have you overcome them challenges to be the successful Joseph that you are today? Can you explain it to the audience listening to this podcast?
Yeah, so it's like, yes, I have had 1,000,001 different problems and obstacles that I've had to overcome, but it's not like I can really pinpoint certain things, because just because I love what I do, whenever there's a problem or an obstacle, no matter what it is, I just find a way around it, or I find a solution around it. But it's never really been like a big setback or anything that has made me stop in regards to the gym or in regards to my business. But my entire day is full of problems.
Business owner, welcome to the world.
Yeah.
You know,
but because I love and enjoy what I do, it's like I just keep going, you know? And I don't really make the problems like a big problem. So to pinpoint like certain things that has kind of like been an obstacle or something, I can't really pinpoint anything really. Like, sure, there's been months where maybe my motivation and hunger for the gym wasn't as much, and sure, there's been months in business where it wasn't absolutely smashing it and crushing it. But you know, I don't even look at it as a problem or an obstacle. I'm just like, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
So there's no specific like challenges that you faced on your path to success that you can actually kind of describe and how you've overcome them. There must be a few experiences,
honestly, like,
you know, payment line getting shut down.
Oh yeah, millions of things like
bank
that.
Statements getting seized and things like that. Has anything of those happened to you?
Oh, payment gateways getting shut down. We set up a new payment gateway, another Stripe account. They shut that down, and we have no idea why. Because it was a brand new Stripe account. There was 0 refunds, 0 like disputes. And then we kind of went back to Stripe and like, hey, how come our account shut down? And they couldn't give us an answer. So many things like that, like a million things and problems like that.
Yeah.
But again, it's just, you find a solution to it. Like we use MemoPay now for our payment gateway.
Yeah.
But to pinpoint something that's really been like a blocker or a really big obstacle, I can't actually think of a single thing.
Wow. That's
but
amazing.
Like a million things across the payment gateways and getting locked out of account, getting a like, I got banned from Facebook for 3 days for live streaming in the gym, and the live stream picked up the music in the background.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's like...
Wow. It's probably an AI bot or something that's picking up the music while you're streaming in the gym, and obviously, you know, training in Banoose, the gym's very loud, the music's very loud in there, and, you know, it's one of those things where, especially with social media these days, that's our sort of main form of marketing. You know, our services and, you know, the videos that you create and the content that you create is all put on those platforms. You kind of depend on those platforms, but you're very kind of like a chilled individual. You know, I'm sitting there talking to you and you're very relaxed, you know, so cool as ice, and, you know, nothing, and that positive energy kind of, I love that. And, you know, for me, I think it's important. You know, what are your sort of 3 daily habits that you do that's actually help you to become successful?
Honestly, I am a big believer in waking up early. I understand that, you know, if you wake up late and you stay up late, you can still have the same amount of hours in the day. But I still think if you wake up early, you can get more done. And I just put it down to the fact that most people in the morning are more productive. Especially myself. So I like to wake up early, and I've always waked up early, and that just helps me get ahead of the day. And when I'm ahead of the day, I feel like I'm already winning and I'm already stacking wins. So then the rest of the day is just crushing it. If there's a time where I don't wake up early, which is never anymore, but if there was, it kind of ruins my day. I feel like I'm on the back foot. So one thing that's really helped me is literally as simple and as obvious as it sounds, is just waking up early. So that's one of them. Another one would be consistency. I think I have done somewhat okay because of my consistency. I'm not the smartest cookie in the cookie jar. I failed school. But I'm consistent, man. I am consistent. Social media, I'm posting every day. Gym, I'm in there every day. Work, every day. Emails, every day. Like, I'm just so consistent. So I think my consistency has been a big factor that has contributed to the gym results and also the business results. And then on top of that, I would say it is just being very self-aware and knowing when you're being productive and knowing when you're just completely just wasting your time. So like a lot of people say they're really busy, but their busy isn't actually productive. Their busy is just being busy. So I'm very self-aware, and I know when I catch myself being busy that is not productive to what I actually need to do or need to achieve. And as soon as I catch myself, I can just get straight back to it and be productive.
Well, that's one of the most important thing is, you know, I do a lot of meditation. So when I meditate, I use an app called a Headspace, and it really helps. And I'm doing a course at the moment, it's a 3-block, 10 course per level or section. I'm on section 3 at the moment, and it talks about what you just said there in regards to focus. It's about knowing when you get distracted and pulling yourself back in. And that's what's important when it comes to focus. And a lot of people are not aware of that. They think focus is something that it's like razor sharp. You know, focus is about knowing when you get distracted by something and then not allowing that to distract you and pulling yourself back in to continue on what you're doing. If it's like, you know, emails, if it's like team meeting, if it's anything that you're doing, it's important that you allow yourself to be pulled back in. But, you know, one of the most common denominator of the people that I spoke to on this podcast is how much of a failure rate that we have, or should we say has been, with people that are successful. So what do you think has helped you? You failed at school. You failed probably in life. People would have thought that you'd be a failure. You know, you're a multi-millionaire now. You know, you live in Dubai. You drive a fancy Lamborghini. You have an amazing life. You know, what do you think has really assisted you to kind of be the person you are and carry on the path that you're on? You know, what's really, really helped you? What's the most important thing that you've learned from failing and now being successful? What have you learned along the way?
The number one thing that I've learned is don't give up when you fail. Just keep going and keep trying and keep trying. And as you said, you know, most people that have done extremely well have failed so many times. And it's usually because they've tried 1,000 more different things than the person who hasn't failed much. The person that hasn't failed much, they usually haven't done much either.
Yeah.
So that's why they haven't failed much. But the person that's failed, 100 times or 1,000 times, they've tried a lot of things.
Yeah.
And eventually they've found that one thing that has worked. So yeah, I'm a big believer in just keep going for it. Keep going for it. Of course, failure is going to happen here and there, but you learn from failure as well. Okay, that doesn't work. I won't be doing that again. So all these failures are just lessons. And I think, over time, it just, creates you into that person that you need to be to find, the thing that clicks.
It's important. I mean, one of my favorite quotes by Michael Jordan, it goes, I fell so many times and this is why I'm successful.
Yeah.
And it's important to touch on what you said there, to pull the audience back in to actually say, those that don't fail haven't tried as many times as we've tried and failed. For me, I was not the brightest kid at school. I suffered from dyslexia. I couldn't read and write till I was about 15. It's still something that challenges me till today. But I have a 7-figure system. I have a 7-figure business. And I'm very successful in what I do because I do it with a lot of passion and I love it what I do. But again, I feel like my life was set up to fail.
Yeah.
Basically, and it's like my biggest fear in life is failure, dying, and losing the people that I love. And those things could happen. And I work as hard as I can to try and prove that it's not going to happen and to keep myself grounded at all time towards my maintain that sort of, I'll say, winning mindset. And, it leads me nicely to my next questions. How do you maintain that beautiful smile, that winning mindset against adversity and against people shutting down things, saying no to you? How do you maintain a winning mindset to be a winner that you are? Because you are a winner in the field that you're killing the online business space at the moment. So how do you maintain that winning mindset?
Yeah, thank you. So you just have to believe in your vision and you have to believe in your ability and you have to just 100% be all in on yourself and know what it is that you want, regardless of what other people say and regardless of the hate or the naysayers or anything like that. Just block it out and be like one of those horses, with the blinkers on, the tunnel vision, and just keep going towards your goal. Because people are always going to say, oh, that's not a good idea, or that doesn't work, or they'll leave something hateful online. But, if what you're doing is good and you truly want to help people and you believe in it and you believe in your vision, just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
And just do it with a positive smile on your face.
Yeah, I mean, that's really great advice because I think what you've probably touched on there is, what you're doing is something that you love.
Yeah.
So it comes natural to you because it's something that you love. It doesn't feel forced, and that allows you to maintain that winning mindset against all adversity that may come up against you because you got that mindset of, I love what I do. This is not work. This is something that I love doing, and that's important. I love that. I mean, I love that. It's really, really good. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And who has been your biggest influence in life and in business? Who's influenced you to be the person you are today and led you to the successful man that you are today? Who would you say has been your biggest influence?
Honestly, it's hard for me to say a single person has been my biggest influence because I've found inspiration and motivation from so many different people, Like I could name a million different people. Maybe The Rock for his work ethic and just, his hardcore do whatever it takes to get what you want.
Yeah.
And then there's guys that I also look up to like Elon Musk, just for the way that he thinks and how good he is at delegating. Like he's got 7 different multi-billion-dollar businesses. Like
That's
how?
crazy, isn't it?
How?
That's crazy. That's insane.
It's insane. So there's a lot of people that I look up to and I, aspire to be like. Kobe Bryant for his work ethic. Even though he played basketball, his work ethic was second to none.
Yeah.
He outworked everyone.
Definitely.
So I pull inspiration from just so many different people. But to say just one person stand alone, I can't because they all have tied in some way or another.
Yeah, no, I want to touch on Kobe Bryant because, funny enough, I'm reading the book at the moment called Winning. It's by his personal trainer, Tim Grosvenor. He's got 2 books, one called Winning, one called Relentless. And the guy's work ethics was next to none.
Yeah.
And he's like unbelievable, unbelievable. Literally, the life that he lived was unbelievable as an athlete. So it was very inspiring as an individual. So, and you touched on Elon Musk as well. I think for me, how can a guy have multi-billion-dollar companies? How does it happen? Like, he must have the perfect formula to create a company, to make it successful, to take it to that amount. You know, what do you think his skill set is like? You know, would you not like just to plug your brain inside his brain just for like a day?
Yeah.
To know how he works and to be able to learn from him, you know, and know the strategies and the techniques that he applies towards business.
His skill set is honestly just phenomenal. And I think he's a super fast decision maker.
Yeah.
And he makes the right decisions. And he's very good at delegating, getting the right people in the job to execute what needs to be done. Like, he's got 11 kids as well. And he's still on Twitter, or X now, posting like memes.
Yeah.
I'm like, where does he find time?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Like, obviously, you know, I've only just got back onto X myself because I was off it for a long time. I didn't think it was a platform for me, but I've got back onto it now. I've started posting more regularly. But I do follow him on X, and it's funny to watch his account. But yeah, it's really, really good. I mean, I love the way you are talking and sharing all the stories with us. And I just want to know, like, if you were to look back at your life right now, you know, what have been the sort of some of the biggest lessons, 3 of the biggest lessons that you've learned to put you in the position that you're in today, to propel you forward?
Yeah, well, I guess there is something that has kind of been an issue of mine, you know, back in the past, but I'm good at it now. I lacked taking massive action. Like, I'd always have these ideas and I'd always want to do things, but my level of action was very kind of like slow, and it took me a while to get there. Now that I've understood, you know, to be massively successful or to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve, you need to have massive action over everything, and just execute ruthlessly. So now that I know that, when there is something that I want to do or want to achieve, I put massive action above everything else.
Yeah.
And I know probably for the first 5 years of me with my fitness business, I can say my level of action was pretty poor. So it wasn't until I really realized that massive action is the key to massive success is when everything changed for me.
So when you mean massive action, so I call it either you're in motion or you're taking action.
Yep.
So when you're in motion, like I call it, like, for example, me and you lift, so we understand the difference between action and motion. Motion is us looking at online, checking out programs that we're going to do, checking out nutrition, and not really stepping a foot in the gym. That's motion. Action is looking at those things and then taking action and going into the gym for the workout, going in to do your food shopping and making sure you're buying healthier things. Would you say that you're more of an action taker with everything that you do rather than procrastinating and being in motion?
Now I am, yes.
Yeah. And what held you back in the past to be more of a sort of being in motion, I call it, and not taking action on the things that you need to do on a day-to-day basis? What held you back in the past?
That's a good question, because I don't actually know the answer to that. It wasn't like I was scared or anything, but I don't know. I didn't connect the dots in my head that if I wanted that, I needed to take massive action.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I was blind to the fact. And I think most people are. Like, I don't think there's anything really stopping them. It's just they don't understand they need to take massive action. Like, if I wanted to start a new business and launch that new business, it would have taken me a while.
Yeah.
But if I had to do it in 2 weeks or my family dies, I would have found a way to do it in 2 weeks.
Yes.
You know? I guess as humans, we just like to procrastinate.
Yeah.
We talk about ideas, we plan it, but then there's no action. So once I understood that, it changed a lot for me.
Yeah, no, I think, like, when you talk about taking action, a lot of people are scared of failure. So if you don't take action on something that you want to do or you're meant to do, then you're not going to fail. Then being scared of failure without taking action, and you won't know what you're going to achieve or what your full potential is. So did you feel like with you taking action, did you have any like business mentor, or did you have anybody that assisted you to help you to be successful? Did you have any specific techniques or strategies that you utilize to help you the path of success?
I didn't have any mentors or anything like that, but again, I could probably use everyone as a mentor in some way, because I go to YouTube, I type in Conor McGregor, I type in The Rock, I type in Elon Musk, and I just listen and watch interviews from them. So I absorb all that information. So in a way, you could probably say that they've all been mentors in one way or another, but I've never really had a direct mentor that I've worked with one-on-one per se as anything like that.
You've never had a mentor whatsoever? That's impressive.
Yeah. Like when I was young at the gym, there was a guy that owned the gym.
Yeah.
He helped me out a bit here and there, but it's not like I would really say it's a mentor that I went to one-on-one. I've just kind of used everyone as a mentor.
Yeah.
Like if I catch up with you for a training session,
Yeah.
I would ask you, oh, so what do you do for your biceps?
Yeah.
What do you eat? Like I'm using you. I'm like getting information out of you. So it's like everyone that I meet and interact with, it's almost like I'm a sponge and I just absorb the information from them. So I use everyone as a mentor. Everyone can teach me something.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that, because I feel like there's an opportunity to learn when you meet someone or train with someone. And I remain forever student for that particular reason. And the reason I believe to remain forever student is that opens that learning pathways. Because the minute you go into the gym or go into a workout with a preconceived ideas about something on how to do something, and not allowing someone else to show you a different way of doing it, your way may not be the best way. You know, it's like there's other ways that you could do the same exercise and maybe get more out of it. You know, and that's the same in life and business. So the reason I asked you in regards to mentor is because obviously the path to success, if someone's already been on that path, someone like yourself, for example, it'll be a lot easier then to show me on how to like fulfill that path of success, because you really carved out the road that you're kind of marching down. There's no point in me trying to build a similar road that I want to build, you know, and right next to yours, when I can actually follow the path that you've built. And this is something I always say in regards to business and in regards to success as a whole. There's nothing that you want to do on this planet that hasn't been done before, and there's no path that you can't follow or research. But it will save you half the time if you have like a business mentor or a coach of some form to assist you. So it's quite surprising for me to sit here with you and actually know that you've never had a business mentor, but you know.
But then everyone has been a mentor.
So, but how important would you say, for example, mentoring is, and how would that sort of help like a young entrepreneur listening to this podcast, or a young online coach listening to the podcast? And what do you feel how would that assist them in regards to investing in a mentor? Because I've invested thousands and thousands of dollars and pounds into business mentoring to help me with my business, and I'm still continuing investing in the business mentor. So what would you say? How would you say how would benefit the individual?
100%, because what you have to understand is, if you're learning from a mentor, or even if you're reading a book or whatever, you're essentially learning everything that person knows. What worked for them, what didn't work for them. And if that can save you 10 years time of you doing it yourself, learning that doesn't work or learning that does work, then it makes sense to pay that fee, get that mentor, learn XYZ, and then go and apply it to your business. I didn't do it because I kind of learnt on my own, because when I started way back in the day, you know, I was doing this before Instagram and Facebook. Like there was no such thing as mentors back when I started. So I had to learn on my own. But even though I didn't directly work one-on-one with a mentor, I've still used everyone as a mentor. So I'm a big believer in, you know, taking the information and learning from that information. And it's basically just a quick way to get you to where you want to be. Because you're learning exactly what you need to do So you don't have to figure it out. You just learn what you need to do in order to achieve X, Y, Z. And if you're trying to get to a level and this person here is at this level, they're the best person to learn from. So any way that allows you to learn is obviously going to benefit you. And mentors are a great way to do that.
Yeah, no, I think mentoring as a whole, I think you've hit the nail on the head in regards to the path that the individual wants to follow has really been carved out for them, and it's worth the investment. You know, I know you do mentoring yourself as a business owner, and it's how's that all going, and what is it that you actually offer? You know, you can talk about it on this podcast, and you know, how do you mentor your mentorees, and what do you actually do for them? How does that work?
Yep. I've been in the online space a long time.
Yeah.
I've learned what works.
Yeah.
I've learned what doesn't work. And I've had many different online businesses, selling digital products, selling supplements, selling clothing. So everything I've essentially learned over this time, I have then gone and broken it all down and understood, okay, if someone wants to start an online business and they want to grow and scale that, this is the formula they need to follow. I then teach that to people that want to start an online business or people that have an online business and want to scale, and essentially just sharing my entire blueprint. That's done through a course, it's done through a school platform, which is like a community, and then also done through coaching calls every single week. And essentially, it's just me downloading everything I know and everything I've learned and sharing that with the members inside of my network.
That's fantastic. That's really good. I think it's important that, you know, one of the things I always say, you know, when I hear someone say knowledge is power, I say no, knowledge is best shared. You know, knowledge isn't power, knowledge is best shared, because if you know something that can help someone else and, you know, you can capitalize off it, you run a business, and then it's you're sharing your knowledge and, you know, and you're capitalizing that. So knowledge is definitely best shared. You know, how important do you think goal setting, and what role does goal setting play in helping you succeed in life and in business?
Yeah, it's super important, because when people don't have a goal, they just float through the day with no real focus on what they're trying to do or trying to achieve. Just like the gym, for example. When you're not prepping for a show, you're just going to the gym and kind of getting it done and eating your meals. But now that you've got a show coming up, you're more structured with your workouts, you're more structured with your diet, with your cardio. Everything's more fine-tuned because you know the exact goal that you want to get to. So when you have a goal, everything changes. I'm not saying that you can't do anything without a goal. Obviously, me and you would still go to the gym without an exact goal in mind at that certain time. But when you have a goal in mind, like a show that you've got to be the certain weight for and the certain body fat, everything gets dialed in. So the same exact thing for business. If you just do your business and you don't have any goal set, you've got no real targets to try and strive for. But if you do your business and you've got a target that you want to help this many people or you want to make this much money, at least now you've got a goal. And then you can work backwards from that goal. Okay, this is what I want to achieve. So what do I need to do to achieve that? You can work it out. Once you've worked it out, you've then got a plan. But without that goal, it's hard to work out what you need to do because you don't even know where you're going.
Yeah, it's difficult. A lot of people set goals and they don't really have a path to achieve those goals. So it's about having, you know, a structure in place. So when it comes to goal setting, for me, I think it's about, you know, taking it day by day and not focusing so much on the end results and actually focusing on the actions that you take daily and how's that taking you towards your sort of, is this decision that I'm making today going to further my business, or is it going to further me as an individual? Like, for example, I can use my prep, for example. Is this action that I'm taking to have a donut or have something, a sugary snack, is that taking me towards my goal of becoming an IFBB pro, or is it taking me away from my goal of being an IFBB pro? So it's probably going to be, it's taking me away because I'm having sugary We know the effect of sugar in the body. We know the effect of the extra calories that sugar has. It's a form of carbohydrate, but we know the effect that it has, especially refined sugar. So it's as simple as that. So simple analogies that I use is something like that. And the same in business, it's the decision that I make today, how's that going to support my business tomorrow? And that's important. So I like what you're talking about in regards to working towards something and really focusing on that. Is there any way you can elaborate on that in regards to goals that you've set and that you've hit in the last sort of year or so? Any big goals that you've set yourself, or any milestones in business and in personal life that you've hit in the last few years? And what are the strategies that you use towards that?
Yeah, so I think it's important to set big goals.
Yeah.
And especially long-term goals. But then it's also important to set these short, smaller goals, because you want to be achieving goals along the way, because it helps, you feel like you're getting something done and you're moving forward, and it's that satisfaction. It's a good positive feedback loop. So it's important to set both types of goals. So I have a goal that I haven't reached, and that's to help 1 million people through my fitness app. But at one point, that was to help 50,000 people, and I smashed that. Then it was to help 100,000 people, smashed that. We're now up to about 190,000 people that we've helped through my fitness app. So we've got a while to go to get to 1 million, but that's the long-term goal now. And then along the way and along that journey to get there, there's just so many different goals that you set in place to try and achieve and trying to reach. So, getting a certain amount of clients per day is a target that we set. We average around 30 clients per day. And if we're running a promo, we get, 50 to 60 clients per day. But our goal right now is to bump that up to average 100 clients per day. And we know some of the things that we need to do in order to achieve that. Spend more money on ads, do something to get more exposure and go more viral, be a bigger authority in the niche that we're trying to cover. So there's many things we can do, but without that goal, you just don't have a plan to work from. I'm a big believer in setting big goals and also smaller goals along the way.
Yeah, I think what's the worst that can happen? Like I always say, if you shoot for the moon, you're going to land amongst the stars.
Yep, exactly.
What is the worst that's going to happen? Like if you set a big goal and you don't reach it, you've learned a massive lesson along the way. You've got to ask yourself the question, what did you not do to not reach that goal? And the goal is bigger than you. It's something that's going to be, a goal should really scare you.
Yeah,
it should be scary. It should be scary being like, bloody hell. So like you're at 190,000 at the moment, you've got 1 million to achieve. That's like 800,020 to go, which is a lot. And that's a massive goal. And then kudos to you. And I'm really, really proud of you as an individual, as an online coach myself, to have to actually genuinely want to help so many people. Because when I set up my company, Precision Performance Coaching, our goal was to help as many people as possible. And we're currently like sitting around 300, 400 people that we've helped through the business over the years, but we're nowhere near you, 180,000, which is fantastic. So keep up the good work with what you're doing. I'm so proud to have you on this podcast, sitting and talking with you. I feel very, very humbled in my business listening to you, really. You feel very, very like, I need to step my game up. I really do. You make me more hungry to be successful.
That's good. You need that hunger, And,
yeah, no, definitely. So what are the best sort of books that you've read along the way? Give me 3 books, 3 quotes that's really, really resonate with you and helped you push your business and you forward as an individual.
Yeah, so believe it or not, I'm not the biggest book reader ever, and I don't really read much books. Over my life, I've read less than a handful of fingers in regards to books. But I do believe books are a very useful tool because, it's a book is written by someone who has a lot of knowledge on something very specific.
Yeah.
And they're giving you their whole life and everything they know in that book. And if you read that book, you're essentially downloading their whole life worth of knowledge on that thing. So books are amazing. In saying that, I feel like I can't, not that I can't read, but I don't absorb the information as well from reading a book.
Yeah.
So I'm a lot better listening to podcasts, listening to interviews, watching something visual. or even if I'm going for a walk and listening to an audiobook, it's a lot easier for me to absorb that information, listen, and understand it. So that's what I do for the most part. I can't really say any amazing books that I have really learned anything from. One that I did go out of my way to read, though, actually two. Very beginner, very basic books. But the Alex Hormozi 100 mil offers.
Yeah.
Talking about, you need a grand slam offer. You need an offer that's so good that people feel stupid saying no.
Yeah.
I learned a bit from that book, and also the Grant Cardone 10X. Just the 10X thinking. You have to, whatever you think you can do, you should 10X that.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of take-homes from both of those books. So that's two books that I recommend. Probably can't give you a third. I'm sorry about that. Maybe The Secret. I have read that one.
Yeah.
Talks about the law of attraction, and just believing in yourself and in your ability.
Yeah.
And I think that is probably the most important thing to achieve anything. Because if you don't believe in yourself, you won't even try.
Yeah, I think you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in yourself.
100%.
It's like with our coaching program, I give a money back guarantee. The reason I give a money back guarantee, I said, if you don't achieve the desired result that you want me to do within the time given, I will give you your money back, because it's hard for them, because they've got to follow the protocols that I set. And if you're not following the protocol, and you're not following, and you're really not checking in with me, you're not logging your meals, you're not doing all the things I've asked you, how can you be successful? It's very difficult, because I believe in my abilities to deliver results. So you definitely got to believe in yourself as an individual.
Yep.
And that kind of leads me to another wicked question I want to ask you. What advice would you give a young, aspiring entrepreneur, business owner? We've kind of asked this question, but in a kind of different way. But what advice would you give them in regards to what they need to do today to be successful, to be the next Joseph Ratcliff?
Yep.
Oh, sorry, Rakich.
Excuse me.
I knew I was going to get it wrong during this podcast. I was going to mispronounce your name at least once.
Honestly, the best take-home message I can give anyone, massive action. Yeah. Massive action above anything. Massive action, extreme urgency.
Yeah.
If you just keep those words in your mind, at the back of your mind at all times, and whatever you want to do or want to achieve, just take massive action.
Yeah.
And act with extreme urgency. Like, if you do that, you will achieve so much.
Yeah.
That is literally the game changer of your life. Massive action, extreme urgency.
That's amazing. I mean, action take is important. A lot of people sit around and procrastinate about shit, and they're really scared to take action because just in case they may fail. And I think it's important that you take action. Social media is a platform where you can share all of the things that you're doing and how you can help someone. So in regards to talking to social media, what best social media platform do you think works best for you, and what have you utilized it for? Yeah, so I've used all the social media platforms, and I'm a big believer in that you should use all, because each platform has different users, Now, where have I got the best? Instagram and Facebook. That's essentially where I've generated the most clients from. But I do think YouTube is the best platform. If you can build an audience on YouTube, that is superior to any other platform. Because if you build an audience on YouTube, when they watch you, they're sitting down. Maybe they're eating a meal, but they're watching you for 10 plus minutes. Yeah. They're consuming you in a way that helps them build a better connection and a better relationship with you. So they're essentially going to be a much warmer client. Now, I say you should be a YouTuber with these other social media platforms. Yeah. Obviously, it's a very hard thing to do because YouTube is the hardest platform there is. Yeah. But if anyone can crack the YouTube game, they've pretty much made it. All the other platforms will grow by themselves. So be a YouTuber and have these other social media platforms. That is probably my biggest take home with social media. But in saying that, don't just focus on one thing. You should use everything. Because yes, someone will watch you on YouTube, but then some people don't even look at YouTube. They just browse TikTok. So create content for all the platforms. That's an amazing takeaway, because that's something that I've only just implemented in the last sort of month or so, because, you know, for example, I was heavily focused on Instagram.
Everyone is,
you know, because it's like, that's where it's all at. That's where it's all happening. It's quite nice. It's visual. You know, you can put your videos, you put your pictures, everything is there. It's easy to use. I neglected TikTok for a long time. I neglected my YouTube channel for a long time because it's a lot harder to make long form content. But one thing I've realized, actually the YouTube algorithm, is the long form content that you're creating, it doesn't have to be like well edited, well cut, as long as the value that you're given are really, really good. And one of the things I've learned from YouTube is there's three things that you need. You need a really, really good title. You need a really, really good thumbnail, and the first 45 seconds of your video needs to be good, because
100%.
if someone's going to watch you for the next 10 minutes, those three things need to be good. They need to hit the nail on the head with the thumbnail, hit the nail on the head with the actual title, and hit the nail on the head within the first 45 seconds, because you got to think the attention span of an individual these days is less than 15 seconds. Yeah. With like Instagram Reels, people just scrolling on TikTok, scrolling on Instagram, and before you know it, 2-3 hours has gone by. So you've got to hit them with those three things, and that's something I've learned, and that's something I'm trying to implement into my YouTube channel as
100%, well. But no matter how good the content is, if the thumbnail and the title's not good, they're not even going to click on it.
No, they're not. They're not. That's the problem, and that's a lot of people get that wrong. And that's the thing I've learned along the way. I've created some good content, some good videos, but it hasn't had a good title, it hasn't had a good thumbnail, and the first 45 seconds of the video hasn't been good. So that's why I've missed out on great views and opportunity to actually help that video potentially going viral. So I'm all over Instagram, I'm all over TikTok now, I'm all over X, I'm back on LinkedIn, really pushing everything across all the social media platforms, which is something I'm very, very proud of myself for doing. We've got a content strategy for all those platforms for each and every month with me and my team that we've put together, which is really, really good. But I feel like I can sit here and talk for you forever. So I'm going to ask you one more question.
Of course.
You know, in regards to, you know, fast forward 10 years from now, what do you see Joseph being in the next sort of 10 years? Where do you see Joseph being in life, in personal life, in business in the next sort of 10 years? If you fast forward 10 years, what do you see? Where do you see yourself?
Yeah, so like I said, I like to set massive goals. So one of my goals is obviously to one day achieve the status of being a billionaire. I know that's going to take a lot of hard work, a lot of grind, a lot of effort. But then also, you know, at the same time, my personal life, I want to have a family. I want to have some kids. So yeah, those would probably be two of my main goals. In regards to the companies that I do have, I want to help more than 1 million people with my fitness business. Through the Wealth Network, I want to help many individuals, you know, generate more than $1 million online through their own business. So yeah, those are probably the main goals right now that I would like to achieve within the next 10 years.
That's amazing, because you lead with value straight away of what you've said. You've said you want to help as many people as possible within your coaching business. You want to help as many online coaches as possible to hit 1 million. And then you've hit yourself in the head, right? You've hit the nail on the head saying you hope you want to reach $1 billion status, or billion pound or $1 billion status. You want to be a billionaire, which is an amazing goal. And most people will never achieve half of those goals that you've set, not even get as close to it as possible. And I know you play a massive part within MacroActive. So tell me your role within that and how it works for any online coaches potentially listening.
Going back to a Michael Jordan quote just before, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So if you don't even try to achieve something, then you know it's not going to happen. So I'm a big believer in just taking as many shots as I can and just trying as many things as I can. In regards to MacroActive, so I was one of the founders of MacroActive. I had an idea, and the idea was to help as many people as possible through selling meal plans and workout programs. When I was doing it back in the day, it was me doing it through email, creating every single meal plan and workout program.
Wow.
I then got to the point where, you know, I had created a whole bunch of meal plans and a whole bunch of workout programs, you know, like a 2,000 calorie meal, 2001, 2002, 2003. and then I was sending them the PDFs according to their goals. But I still needed a way to automate it so I could help more people worldwide. So I went to a web development company. I told them my idea. I want to create some software that can allow me to automate the meal plans and workout programs that I create, but do it in a way that's exactly as if I would to manually write it. And each meal plan and workout program needs to be 100% personalized to each and every client. They couldn't believe that people were paying me money for me to tell them what to eat. I'm like, yeah, they are. Anyway, they helped me create the software.
Yeah.
1,000,001 problems over the years. A lot more money than what I thought as well over the years. We've put well over $2 million in development now.
Oh, wow.
But, just endless problems as well. One problem off the top of my head, you want to get a meal plan for someone. You work out how much calories they need, how much protein, carbs, fats they need, and then they get the meal plan. Okay, cool. But then we're getting people have like steak and potatoes for breakfast.
Yeah.
Not that that's wrong and that you can't do it, but most people don't want to have steak and potatoes for breakfast. You know what I mean?
No.
So we're like, okay, steak cannot be in meal 1, but it can only be in meal 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
So there's so many rules like that you don't even think of off the top of the bat that you only realize when you're doing it.
Yeah, when you auto-generate something based on the calorie requirements that you give someone, it's just going to look at what's the best meals that I can give this individual. It's not going to be accurate enough to be like, have some eggs, have some oats for breakfast, and keep it simple like that. But or
rice and whey protein.
Yeah.
Not that it's wrong, but they don't really go together.
They don't go together, do they? Maybe oats and whey protein would go better than rice and whey protein. Have your protein shake and rice cakes maybe, but
exactly. So a million problems like that. So over the years, obviously we made it better and better and better, and we finally got it to the point where, it was amazing. And that essentially helped my fitness business 100x. The guys at the web company saw how well my fitness business was doing. So one of them came into my business, and he was the manager of my fitness business. Basically helping me run my business like a business and not just as a cowboy. Then another guy from that web company that helped, develop the software, he came into my business, and he was my marketing manager. So we started running ads and doing all that stuff. And then, grew the business from there. At that point, we just really scaled the business. But at that point, we also saw many other online trainers start in the online space. But I felt like I was so far ahead of them because I've, created an app and I've got the software, and they're still all doing everything by meal plan, by email. So that is when me and my 2 business partners now, we decided to create another company. That other company is MacroActive. And now essentially what we do is we create websites and mobile apps, white label it, and then help that online trainer grow and scale their business.
That's fantastic. Really, really good. That's a good concept. It's amazing. Like I said, I could sit and talk to you for hours on end because I wish I could pick your brain even more. And I'm trying to kind of like digest the information that you've given me. I think I'm going to have to rewatch this particular episode myself, so listen to some of the stuff and some of the conversations that we've had, remind myself. So if someone wants to find you on social media, how do they find you on social media?
So as I said, I'm on all different social medias. Just search my name, Josef Rakich, and I'll hopefully come up unless I'm shadow banned or something. I'm on every platform except for LinkedIn because they did ban me there. I don't know why they banned me. They won't give me an answer either. But search my name and you'll find me on any platform.
Fantastic. Been an honor, honestly. It's been a true honor because I've been a fan of yours, that I've watched you grow from a distance within your business, and you've been crushing it. And it's a true honor to have you on. And thank you very much for coming on.
I appreciate having me on, so thank you very much.
It's been an awesome chat having Joseph here and speaking to him, and I hope you guys have learned something from the podcast. If you like this podcast, please share it with somebody that will benefit from listening to myself and Joseph talk on this podcast. And anything that you guys want, any person you want me to interview next, just message me who you want me to interview, and I will try my very best to dig them out and try and get them on this Winning Mindset podcast. Once again, I want to say a massive, massive thank you to Joseph for coming on here. It's now very late here, and he said yes straight away. This guy's a very busy man, and I've managed to get him on. So a massive thank you to you. And I'm going to say to you guys, life's too short to have small arms, so let's all get swole like well.
I like it.